Fellow members of the Board of Governors, members of the faculty and administration, guests, families, and friends, and especially all of the graduates whom we are here to honor this afternoon. This is a day of transition for the graduates. For Royal Roads University, it's also a day of transition. We make the formal transition to new leadership with the installation of our incoming president, Dr. Philip Steenkamp. This might seem a little arbitrary at first glance because Dr. Steenkamp has been in his role since January and has jumped in with both feet. But maybe it makes a little more sense when you see this as the official end of the beginning. And we've gotten to know each other quite well, and today's ceremony marks the end of this period of transition. And for the members of our graduating classes, this is a day of transition too. Transition from your studies, learning about change, to becoming change makers. I see a familiar look on some of your faces. You see, one of the things that I enjoy doing when I'm not working is running, and I've helped organize and run in an awful lot of races over the years. And there's an expression that I often see on the faces of the runners who cross the finish line. It's a combination of exhaustion, relief, and elation. It's the look of somebody who's given their all. And some of you graduates have that look. But this is not the finish line. You've completed one leg of a long journey. And with the competencies and knowledge that you've gained and the people that you have met along the way, all of whom will help you on your next leg and the one after that and the one after that, you will go forward and live your learning. Today is really an aid station along the route with all of us here, your faculty who have taught you so well, your guests, friends and family in the audience, the members of your cohort. We are all here to cheer you and hand you a glass of cold water and boost your energy and send you on your way. So to the graduating classes of 2019, I offer you my warmest congratulations. Sat down too soon. It's now my pleasure to honor and welcome the family and friends of Dr. Steenkamp. We are delighted that you are present today to share in this, the installation of the fourth president of Royal Roads University. We have a larger than usual platform party here today because we have many presidents and chancellors of sister institutions from across Canada here to honor Dr. Steenkamp at his installation. Dr. Steenkamp, would you please rise? And I will now call upon Her Honor, the Honorable Janet Austin, Lieutenant Governor of British Columbia, to read the oath of office.
Thank you. Dr. Steenkamp, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Do you, Philip Steenkamp, promise that you will, to the best of your skill and ability, truly and faithfully carry out the Royal Roads University educational mission and other duties of the President and Vice-Chancellor of Royal Roads University without fear and favor?
I will to the best of my abilities.
Dr. Steenkamp, by the authority of the Royal Roads University Act, on behalf of the Board of Governors and as Lieutenant Governor of British Columbia, I hereby install you as President and Vice-Chancellor of Royal Roads University with all the powers and responsibilities pertaining to this office. I now call upon the Chancellor to invest Dr. Steenkamp with his robes of office, and I offer my heartfelt congratulations. Here, I'll give you a hug. Well done, you. All right.
We will now call upon,
Don't forget
and
the
the
last
hat.
piece.
Oh, make sure I get this right.
Okay.
We'll now call upon our colleagues from our sister institutions to share greetings on behalf of those institutions. Kwantlen Polytechnic University, Dr. Salvador Ferreras, Provost and Vice President Academic. Simon Fraser University, Dr. Andrew Petter, President and Vice-Chancellor. From the University of Alberta, Dr. David Turpin, President and Vice-Chancellor. University of British Columbia, Dr. Santa Ono, President and Vice-Chancellor. University of the Fraser Valley, Dr. Joanne McLean, President and Vice-Chancellor. University of Victoria, Ms. Carmen Charette, Vice President, External Relations, presenting on behalf of Professor Jamie Castles, President and Vice-Chancellor. University of Western Ontario, Mr. Paul Cruz, Professional Consultant, presenting on behalf of Dr. Amit Chakma, President and Vice-Chancellor. Vancouver Island University, Dr. Ralph Nilsson, President and Vice-Chancellor. From Wilfrid Laurier University, Dr. David Black, presenting on behalf of Dr. Deborah McLean, President and Vice-Chancellor. University of Lethbridge, Dr. Michael Mann, President and Vice-Chancellor. Dr. Mann is also presenting greetings from Universities Canada on behalf of Mr. Paul Davidson, President. I would now like to acknowledge the following institutions, which, although unable to attend the ceremony, have sent greetings and congratulations to Dr. Steenkamp. Algoma University, Brandon University, Brock University, Campion University at the University of Regina, Carleton University, Concordia University of Edmonton, Concordia University, Dalhousie University, Grant MacEwan University, HEC Montreal, formerly École des Hautes Études Commerciales, Huron University College at Western, Laurentian University, McMaster University, Memorial University of Newfoundland, Nicola Valley Institute of Technology, Nipissing University, Ontario College of Art and Design University, Queen's University at Kingston, Redeemer University College, Royal Military College of Canada, Ryerson College, St. Jerome's University, St. Thomas University, Thompson Rivers University, Trent University, Université d'Ottawa, University of New Brunswick, University of Northern British Columbia, University of Ontario Institute of Technology, University of Regina, University of St. Michael's College in the University of Toronto, University of Sudbury, University of Windsor, and Victoria University in the University of Toronto. I will now ask our new president to address his remarks to the Convocation.
Her Honour, the Honourable Janet Austin, Madam Chancellor, members of the Board of Governors, chiefs, honoured guests, graduates, faculty, students, and staff, proud families, and friends. Thank you so much. I am deeply honored and humbled by your trust in me to serve as the fourth president of Royal Roads University. I want to begin by acknowledging that Royal Roads University is located on the lands of the Kusapsum and the Lekwungen ancestors and families. And thank you so much for bringing your blessings this morning. This land has been part of the fabric of the life of Indigenous communities for thousands of years. It is with gratitude that we now learn and work here where the past, present, and future of Indigenous and non-Indigenous students, faculty, and staff come together. I would also like to acknowledge the debt I owe to my predecessors, in particular to Alan Cahoon for his thoughtful leadership and stewardship of the university over the past 12 years. And I want to thank the university leaders who've offered me so much support, guidance, and inspiration over the years. Thank you so much. I'm deeply, deeply touched by how many of you are here today. But I'd especially like to mention Andrew Petter, Martha Piper, and Santa Ono. All of them examples to me of what post-secondary leadership means in action. Of course, nobody gets anywhere on their own, and I owe most thanks to my family and friends, many of them sitting up there today, and especially to my daughter Hannah, I can't see you in the lights, and to my partner Brad. Thank you so much. Drew Faust, who was a former president of Harvard University, noted that installation speeches are a peculiar genre. Quote, "They are by definition pronouncements by individuals who don't yet know what they are talking about." Or we might more charitably dub them expressions of hope unchastened by the rod of experience. So with that in mind, let me offer a few unchastened expressions of hope for the future of Royal Roads University. This has always been an extraordinary institution. There's nothing quite like us anywhere. We're small and we're focused. We provide undergraduate and graduate programs in applied and professional areas. We take our cues from the demands of the labor market and the lifelong learning needs of our community. We've broken new ground with an innovative blended learning model, one that combines intensive learning on campus with online learning, whether that's in Canada or anywhere around the world. Our learning, teaching, and research are all about change, changing lives as our students learn, and changing societies as we see knowledge translated into policies and practices. And all of you graduates here this afternoon, about to join that community of Royal Roads changemakers, we could not be prouder of you, of the hard work you've done to get here, and the change you'll make when you walk out those doors. To many people, change is uncomfortable and bewildering, but Royal Roads embraces it because we know change is the only way to a better future. Machiavelli famously said, "Change has no constituency," but he was wrong. We are its constituency. And yet, for an organization as focused on change, we ground it in both place and history. The campus at Royal Roads University is a place deeply rooted in time and in the history of our province. We walk, teach, learn on the ancestral lands of the Coast Salish people, for which these lands provided food, medicine, clothing, and housing. Our centerpiece is a castle constructed by a coal baron, premier, and lieutenant governor. For better and for worse, you'd be hard-pressed to find a more appropriate avatar for the colonial side of BC's history. For 55 years, our grounds helped train Canada's military officers, starting in the Second World War through to 1995 with the founding of our present-day university. And today, every student who comes here can tell you that the experience of their education is inextricably bound up in this land and location. One of the greatest pleasures of my first few months in office has been to talk with the faculty, students, and staff, including the people responsible for stewarding and shaping this place. What struck me most in my first few days was the incredible passion people feel for Royal Roads University. It was hard for me to tell whether somebody had worked there for 20 days or 20 years, which is a remarkable testimony to the enduring commitment and enthusiasm for the institution. Every gardener and groundskeeper I've met speaks with so much pride about their work and the role they play in curating and cultivating the beauty of our surroundings. Each gardener is responsible for a particular area, and they treat the area a way an artist treats a canvas. They carefully make those precise choices, sometimes deceptively small ones, that contribute to the much larger whole. And that's a pretty good way to describe the impact our university is having here and in the world at large. Royal Roads University is small in numbers only. Our influence dramatically outstrips our size. One of the key signs of leadership is when you see others following. And today we see a broad range of other universities adopting and adapting many of our innovations. We have played a role in shaping the future of education well beyond our campus borders. Now, I want us to play that role again, and not confined to education alone. I have the privilege of taking on the presidency at a time when Royal Roads has an unparalleled opportunity to lead and to magnify our impact in the world. I say opportunity, and it is, but there's a tremendous urgency to it. We're facing challenges today as daunting and serious as any humanity has ever had to confront. Our economy is transforming at a pace that makes the Industrial Revolution feel like continental drift. And a growing share of the labor driving the economy is held not by people, but by machines, sophisticated algorithms, complex software, and monumental databases, working in concert to constantly learn and to improve. A McKinsey Global Institute study last fall predicted that that shift is going to push 1/3 of Canadian workers out of their jobs in the next 15 years. And that puts a greater and greater onus on us to equip people with the skills they need to thrive in a rapidly changing world. And at least as important, it means shifting the kind of skills we teach toward those literacies and competencies that aren't easily replaced by algorithms, automation, and artificial intelligence. And then there's our most pressing challenge, the climate crisis, truly an existential threat around the world. Addressing it and increasingly adapting to it demands coordinated action at every level, from the personal to the global. That requires a robust civil society and adept creative leadership. But the challenges here, too, are daunting. We're under sustained assault by forces opposed to the very idea of civil society and liberal democracy. Populists and demagogues find a hungry, eager audience among people who feel that economic transformation is leaving them behind. Nostalgia for past glory and privilege finds expression in the strident calls of exclusionary nationalism. These are big, big challenges. Any one of them could legitimately demand our full attention. But they have converged at a single moment in time, our moment. The choices made by our governments, our businesses, our people, our institutions, and yes, our graduates, will have repercussions that long outlast us. And that's what makes this not only an opportunity, but an obligation. An obligation to use the resources entrusted to us, our people, our ideas, our assets, to tackle challenges and heal divisions. We are accountable to the future, and that, by the way, makes us especially accountable to our students, because they are our central purpose and our most important legacy. So wherever Royal Roads can offer particular expertise, wherever we excel, we have a duty to step forward. And the Royal Roads University I see us becoming is one that does just that. A university facing and focused on the future. Not just asking the question, what's next, but what should be next? How can we journey together towards a future that is prosperous, sustainable, and just? And that applies to everything we do in every program, with every course, through every graduate. It means finding our opportunities to make change. Those key interventions where our expertise has leverage, often in many spheres. We also have a responsibility to equip our students with the tools to navigate the rapidly shifting terrain of work. We talk about a Royal Roads education as being life-changing, and it certainly is. But that makes it sound like a single event in someone's life. Yet we know increasingly the workplace will demand that people learn and relearn new skills, reinvent their careers, and rebuild their expertise. And if we sit on our past record of innovation, allowing ourselves to be flattered by the way others have emulated us, we're inviting those others to surpass us. How can we do more? Not just to change lives, but to be integral to them, to be a key part of people's careers throughout that constant transition. Royal Roads University's innovations in blended learning and mid-career education are a big part of what spurred me to become its president. Yet we too need to change. The education we offer should train not just skilled workers, but problem solvers and change leaders. Joseph Aoun, the president of Northeastern University, puts it this way in his book, Robot Proof. Instead of educating college students for jobs that are about to disappear under the rising tide of technology, 21st century universities should liberate them from outdated career models and give them ownership of their own futures. Universities must broaden their reach to become engines for lifelong learning. In essence, this is my vision, to make Royal Roads an engine of lifelong learning. We have transformed education before, and it's time for us to do it again. So as I contemplate the next 5 years as your president, I'm setting some milestones, goals by which I'll measure our shared success on 3 broad fronts. First, around learning and innovation. I want Royal Roads University to become synonymous with innovation in teaching, learning, and research in Canada. We have a big opportunity with the proposed new West Shore campus, and working in partnership with Camosun College and the University of Victoria and School District 62, we will bring all the formidable imagination and ingenuity at our disposal to bear on it. I want us to be the university of choice for lifelong learning and for those looking to advance their careers and take on greater leadership roles. And I want us to be a leader in interdisciplinary education that tackles real-world challenges at the undergraduate and graduate levels. Second, I want Royal Roads University to lead on inclusion, diversity, and reconciliation. We will show the rest of Canada that reconciliation is not just about symbolic gestures, but a way of living and working and understanding the world and each other. Living by the Truth and Reconciliation Commission recommendations and living up to our commitments under the UN Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples. In what we teach, in who teaches and how, in who learns here, and in the very nature of the place itself. And third, I want Royal Roads to lead on engagement with the world around us. We will go beyond our walls, out of our castle, into the community as a strong partner and collaborator in the West Shore, Southern Vancouver Island, and Southwest BC. And we'll be a sought-after partner nationally and internationally. As part of that engagement, Royal Roads University will lead the country in embracing the goals at the heart of the UN's 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. We have a lot to offer, especially around goals like climate action, quality education, and peace, justice, and strong institutions. And at a time when multilateralism is the target of so much misinformation and hostility, a time of narrow nationalism, protectionism, and turning inward, embracing this kind of international collective action carries with it its own special power. Above all else, I want us to make the difference in the world that only Royal Roads can make. Thomas Homer Dixon, in his book, The Ingenuity Gap, talks about the need to make key interventions at pivotal points, interventions with an impact that vastly outstrips their individual magnitude. The world needs smart, nimble organizations collaborating together to identify those interventions and make them happen. And I believe nobody is better positioned to be such an organization than Royal Roads University. I've talked today about the future. Today, that future seems less certain than I can ever remember. The state of discourse, the trajectory we appear to be following, signs that we may be losing the capacity and even the will to change it through collective action. These are all very concerning. But we have solved enormous problems before. We survived the arms race of the late 20th century. We came together to end the seemingly intractable dangers of acid rain and ozone depletion. The challenges we're facing now are every bit as daunting, but I have faith in human imagination and our shared pursuit of knowledge. We have a choice. We can allow the magnitude and urgency of the challenge to discourage us into inaction, or we can let them give ourselves license to think bigger. In the words of Greta Thunberg, we can't save the world by playing by the rules because the rules have to be changed. Everything needs to change, and it has to start today. And if we genuinely believe in the transformative power of education, then the true power of lifelong learning becomes clear. Because a constantly changing world demands constant transformation and continual reinvention. It demands reinvention of our skills, our careers, and it demands reinvention of our universities. That reinvention is not the work of a distant hypothetical future. It's our work today. Graduates, colleagues, honored guests, there's a good reason we call our institution life-changing. We come to Royal Roads as students, as staff, as faculty to change ourselves so that we can then change the world. It is my very great privilege to join you in making those changes through the way we operate as a campus, through our research and our teaching, and through the achievement of Royal Roads graduates around the world. For that, I thank you for your support, your advice, your collaboration, and for this amazing opportunity to help shape the future together. Thank you very much.